Hi, this is Sudhir. This is C#.NET if condition tutorial. So, if condition is used to execute a block of code only when the condition is satisfied. So, if you have multiple lines of code and in that if you want some of the statements to be executed based on a condition, then you have to use if conditions. The syntax of it look like this. If in the braces you have to add a condition. After that in the curly braces you are going to write a piece of code. This piece of code contains some statements which are executed if and only if the if condition is satisfied. So this is a code example. I have a variable of I of int type, int I semicolon. Next, I want to print a message on the output screen, so I have written console.writeLine of enter number. This enter number text will be printed on the output screen so that user will know he has to enter some number. After he enters some number, we are going to use console.readLine as a method. ReadLine is used to take input from the user, which is of string format. So I want to convert that into number using convert dot to int32. I'm going to convert that into number and I'm going to place it into I. So here I'm going to use an if condition because I don't want to print this text positive always using my console.writeLine. This statement has to be executed if and only if the user enters a positive number. That means a number should be greater than 0. So here I have written an if condition. If I greater than 0, that means if the number entered by the user is greater than 0, this statement will be executed. Otherwise this will be skipped. So this type of things can be done using if conditions. We also have one more concept called nested if condition. Nested if condition means if statement contains another if condition within that. So if you want to keep if condition inside an if condition, that is allowed in C#, and this concept is called as nested if condition. So you can see the syntax. If condition 1, inside that you have added one more condition, if condition 2, inside that we have statements. Both condition 1 and 2 should be satisfied to execute that statements inside the internal if condition. If one of that is satisfied, that is if outside one is satisfied, the code will not, if the outside one is satisfied, the code will go inside, and the inside one has to be satisfied to execute the statements because it has to go inside that. So this is how a nested if condition will be. So example program for nested if looks like this. I create a variable I of int type, int I. Next one, I printed a message on the output screen so that user will be popped up with some message saying that enter some number. So he's going to enter some number which I'm going to take into I equal to convert.toInt32 of console.readLine. I'm using convert.toInt32 here to convert the number which is entered by user, which is taken from readLine, and to place it into I. After that I'm going to check my first if condition. If I greater than 0, first of all the number should be greater than 0, it should be a positive number. Then if it is a positive number, it will go inside. Then inside that one more if condition is there. I should be less than 10 as well. That means it should be greater than 0, and also it should be less than 10. That means it should be between 0 and 10. Then only this console.writeLine message will be printed, that is valid text, valid number will be printed on the output screen. So here you can see the note saying that valid number text is printed if the entered number is between 0 and 10, that it should be 1, or till 9 it should be between 0 and 10. So I'm going to show you the same in my Visual Studio in my demo. I'm going to open my Visual Studio with a console application example. In the main method I'm going to create a variable first, int I. So I created a variable. Now I want some number inside it. Before that I want to print some message on the output screen, console.writeLine of enter number. So this is the text will be printed on the output screen so that user will enter some number. Whatever the user enters, I will convert that into int32, which is of int type, and user will use to get the number from the user. I'm going to use console.readLine method. It's going to take number from the user and it's going to be converted into int32 number because I want a number of int type. Next, I'm going to use an if condition here. If condition is I should be greater than 0, it should be a positive number. If it is positive number, I'm going to print some message saying that it's a positive number. At the end I have to write console.read key so that the output screen will not be closed till I press a key, so that I can see some output. So first it is going to ask for console.WriteLine, enter number. It is waiting for some number. I'm going to enter some number like 4. This is taken inside using console.readLine. It is converted into int and it's going to be an I. After that, if condition is satisfied here because it's greater than 0 and it is printing positive number. Again I'm going to execute. This time when it's asking for number, I'm going to give -9. You can see when I press enter, it's an empty one. That means if condition is not satisfied. So it is waiting till I press a key because it's read key. When I pressed it, it will be closed. You can see positive number is not at all printed because if condition is failed to execute. So this is how if condition works. That means you can execute this line of code based on this condition. Now one more concept we have is we can add if in if. It should be greater than 0 and it should be less than 10. Then only this line of code will be executed. You can see if condition inside an if condition. This is nested if. Now when the user asks me to enter a number, I'm entering something called 5. So if I enter 5, the first condition will be satisfied. 5 greater than 0 is successful. It went inside. 5 less than 10, it is successful. So it is a positive number because this line of code is executed correctly. Now in the next time, I'm going to enter a value like 19. Then the first condition, if condition, will be satisfied. I greater than 0. It will be satisfied because 19 is greater than 0. But it will face the internal if condition. 19 is not less than 10. So it will not print any message. You can see I pressed enter, but it is not printing any message. It is just closing because the internal if condition is failed to execute. So you have to enter a number which is satisfying both, then only it will be executed. This is called nested if in if. You can write any number of if conditions inside any number of if conditions. That is called nested if. Thank you.